Welcome to WROL Broadcast. I am Hate Mail. With me today we have Joker.
Hello.
And Loot.
Hey guys.
And unfortunately, I did not want more drama on DC Legends because it seems like there's just been way too much of that lately. But this is a project that Vinjin, who was okay with us talking about him, but he did not want to come on the podcast because he's just not comfortable being on a podcast, which is fine. But he reached out to me. He's a programmer, understands Android code, very, very smart, works in this field. And he's been getting very frustrated by hackers. Me and him were going back and forth. And he said he was going to download some of the hacks and see if he could kind of look at the code, figure out a way to maybe give suggestions to stop it. So one of the things I've always wondered about is that we see the low-level hackers sometimes get removed, but a lot of us are very suspicious of some endgame players, some people that just seem to be able to do things that nobody else can do. And while there has been some instances where people showed, hey, I was able to accomplish that, we also wondered, can WB actually detect hacking? I mean, will the system just automatically shut it down as soon as you install the hack? We're pretty sure that doesn't happen because we see people win showdowns and stuff regularly, but can they actually detect it if there isn't a low-level team beating a high-level team? So Vinjin did some tests. He created an account. You can see the video where we did our best to see if he could get himself banned. And unfortunately, and to my disappointment but not surprise, is that it doesn't appear that there is no actual hack detection. He was able to go through, win showdowns while being reported, and he could only get banned when whenever he defeated high-level players and those high-level players reported losses to him. No other time was any action ever taken. And to further that, the only action that was taken was the trophies were removed. He actually still managed to collect all his rewards. So I do understand that, there's you can't just automatically ban somebody without hard evidence initially, but it does appear that if you have a geared roster, or they really don't have any method to determine if you're hacking. It's
pretty sad.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. We're hoping that, and this podcast isn't to beat up WB. We know there's limited resources. We want content.
We love you guys. You know that.
Yeah. So the point of this was, what can be done to stop it? So there's a report that Vinjin created. It's super thorough, long report, really well done, that we're sharing with WB to hopefully address this problem so that when people are achieving amazing feats in different game modes, we don't have to constantly wonder, is this person hacking or are they just really good? And the couple of the solutions that was presented is, one of them is to change the login feature so that you can't log in anonymously, because most of the hacks seem to work off some method of anonymous logins. Which probably will never happen, having a universal ID would be the best solution, but we think that might be more work depending on the resources allocated to, something like this. But I think the best method, or one of the other methods, is that he provided over 100 pages of code just showing that the code is different in the game on your profile than when using the hack when not. And the sad thing is that it's not just damage. There's hacks that enable you to change just your defense, so you never can increase damage. You can just increase defense. It's very eye-opening seeing what all was possible, and kind of scary that you really would never ever have any idea. And one thing to note, as you can see, Indigo probably should be S tier. What are your comments or thoughts, Loot?
I mean, overall, I'm not surprised, right? I mean, this stuff's been going on for a while. I'm just disappointed that how many years are we in this game already?
4? Are we 4 years now?
4 years.
Yeah.
And hacking's been an issue for 4 years. And they don't seem to care. They don't care at all. They only care when people complain, and then even then, they're on the fence about banning a person. I don't know why. I don't get it. To me, it's just maybe they can't get past the finances. It seems like a financial decision to me that they're willing to let this go on just so that it doesn't hurt their wallet. So,
well, and that's where my solution is, okay, we don't want to ruin the finances. I don't agree with that, but let's just stop it in its tracks. So if you don't want to take action against the people because you're worried that they'll stop spending, then go ahead and just make it so that it's much harder to actually hack the game. And that's where I think some of these solutions would be better.
I actually think that's a bit of a cop-out. If it's a matter of finances and you have a hacker that's investing a ton of money monthly into the game, and they're cheating, they know they're cheating, and if you take a siege or a raid that they're currently in a high position in, you reset their trophies. Then they're not going to demand their money back. You didn't take anything away from their gaming experience. You didn't reset their characters and their gear and ban them. You reset their trophies. And it's just like, oh yeah, well, they finally caught me for what I'm doing. I'm not going to demand my money back. I'm not going to stop playing. I might actually start playing legit because I have a beast roster as it is. If somebody's invested that much money into the game and then you're reset from cheating, they're not going to stop investing. They're just going to start playing legit and continue what they were originally doing.
Yeah.
That's my view on it.
I mean, it sucks, but I'm willing to accept that at this point, just because it doesn't seem like further action's being taken. Or if you can, maybe they couldn't detect before. Maybe they didn't have it. We're handing the code and all of the variables.
We're giving them the keys to the castle.
Yeah.
Like literally, here's the blueprint. Here's what they're doing. This is how they're doing it. We know for a fact that this is the go-to hack. This is the best one there is. Period.
Yeah, he actually listed all of them on here, further down. So all the ones.
Yeah, no, and this is the strongest one.
Yeah.
Is there one for gems listed?
Defense multiplier.
There is no gem hacks. That's database driven. So.
Darn it.
Yeah, right. I think that would be abused. They'd fix that one right away.
Yeah, I'd have to switch to Android if that was the case.
So are we gonna hand this over to them?
Yeah, I'm gonna I just wanted to kind of do this episode, and I was gonna send it with the accompanying link, and then but we just wanted to show that yeah, it's possible. When they say, hey, we looked into it, we couldn't find anything, that doesn't mean anything because, it didn't matter. So here's proof that it doesn't matter.
Looking at these possible solutions, and there's one that's been brought up multiple times before, and I think you brought it up yourself, Hate Mail, during raids. How about something that just, tallies up the amount of damage at the end of a battle? How much damage you personally did at the end of any.
You take.
Right.
Yeah.
And a flag goes on up for a single hit of like 500,000 or what have you.
Well, I don't know if it should necessarily be that, but I mean, if you do the damage taken versus damage done, you could easily see if there's a wide discrepancy, and then it could kind of flag, okay, maybe it was a one-time thing, you got lucky in a match, but then if it's repeated, it would cause them to look into it further, and then they would flag them to check the code, because that's the biggest thing. You check the code. If the code's not right, then they're hacking.
Damage taken is kind of a slippery slope because we have all those heals.
Yeah, but they're still going to take damage initially.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, awareness would kind of mitigate that a little bit, but also, you're going to see a wide variety. The average. What is the average? And if the average is significantly different,
right,
it gives a little red flag type of thing.
Well, I can tell you I've seen some really shady scores in Siege. So I would really like them to take this seriously.
It definitely
It's
has a
not,
negative impact.
this isn't Siege is expensive. It's not like it's free.
Yeah, and I mean,
So-
who knows how many other modes, and how many people in Wraith didn't get top 100 when they should have. Yeah, you see the user XXX low-level account, but how many people that are higher geared, what if it's 10%? And that's a lot of people. It may not,
It
it
is.
probably isn't that high, but it could be, and you don't know. There's just no way. So, the smart hackers are hanging out in the really low levels, and nobody knows what's going on. So, and you'll never know. So I think we're well past due for something like this to happen. But on that
I
note,
truly hope that they do it.
We'll keep this short and sweet, and WB, ball's in your court. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Tuitron. Thank you for listening to WROL Broadcasts. If you like the show, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/WROL Broadcasts.
Hey Google, what's my name?
Your name is Daddy.
Remember that, boys.